Hello, I'm Dawn Durham, and welcome to PaTTANpod. One of the roles of the Pennsylvania Training and Technical Assistance Network, PaTTAN, is to ensure the field has the necessary resources to help all students access learning and succeed. We want to highlight a particular opportunity today. PaTTAN consultants Amira Hill-Yancy and Dennis Cullen join us to share information about the middle school success, the path to graduation, what we commonly refer to as P2G. Thanks, Dennis and Amir, for being on PaTTANpod today. We so appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I want to think about this opportunity that's available to schools. I think is a wonderful thing, but I'm not sure everybody knows about it. So I want to talk a little bit more about this opportunity and make sure folks know how and where to access this information. Mm-hmm. So let's start by just helping me understand what is the middle school success path to graduation, or what I think everybody refers to as P2G.
Right. So P2G is a federally funded professional development grant, and it employs an early warning system, that ABC data, as well as evidence-based interventions to identify risk factors for students with emotional behavior disturbance and ultimately help to increase graduation rates and decrease dropout rates.
Excellent. So this is a grant that schools can access to receive assistance with implementing early warning systems to kind of find out what students are on track and may not be on track to graduate. Am I understanding that correctly?
Right. Specifically students with emotional behavior disturbance.
Excellent.
And LEAs generally access this through their intermediate unit. The intermediate unit, it's being rolled out in phases. Mm-hmm. So each intermediate unit will be coming on in different years. So last year we had our first round of intermediate units. This year we have a new round of intermediate units, and then next year we'll have another round of intermediate units. And those intermediate units look at the data of the LEAs within their area, mm-hmm. And help to decide which schools and which local education agencies to approach to see if they would like to participate in this intervention.
Excellent. And help me in understanding it. Why would an LEA choose to access this P2G grant? What are the benefits for the school, for the parents, for the teachers, for the students?
Sure. So one of the main benefits is that they get ongoing professional development and coaching at no cost through their intermediate unit and through PaTTAN. They get access to the early warning system that helps them to identify students who are at risk for dropping out. And they get access to evidence-based interventions that have been proven to decrease the risks of students dropping out over time. They also receive a stipend over the 3 years of the grant to help implement the evidence-based interventions. We also build in there for them to be able to build capacity. So while we and the intermediate unit are supporting them, we've systematically fade out our support while increasing their capacity to sustain the interventions over time, and hopefully to be able to increase the outcomes for students and for families. They receive support in organizing their data, analyzing their data, and then utilizing their data for both systems level and student level positive outcomes.
I think something you said there that was important to highlight is, this opportunity affords LEAs the chance to have on-site support, on-site professional development, on-site coaching. But as time progresses, that support kind of dwindles away while we're building the internal capacity of that LEA, which allows them to sustain these positive outcomes and these positive changes for students. And I think that is a crucial piece that we need to understand. Right. It's an ongoing learning process, an ongoing implementation, but allows for that great knowledge to sustain and for cohorts of students to continue to gain and benefit from this.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. You had mentioned these evidence-aligned or evidence-based strategies. Help me in understanding which ones those are or what they are.
Okay, sure. So there are 3 evidence-based interventions associated with P2G. Check and Connect is one, and that is a mentor-based intervention that has been proven to decrease the likelihood of students dropping out. It has a positive effect on graduation rates. And there's 4 parts to it. It's the mentor piece. So there's a 2-year commitment from a mentor to be assigned to a student, as well as the check piece. So they're using that early warning system data, looking at attendance, behavior, and course performance, and meeting with the student in that connect piece. So they're talking about goal setting and looking at opportunities to increase student attendance, decrease incidence of unwanted behaviors, and increase course performance. And then that final piece is the family engagement, because we want parents to be a part of that process. So that goal setting and actually allowing parents to be advocates for their child and being that go-between between the school and the family to get information and to ensure that their student is on track and engaged in school.
So this check and connect is one of these evidence-based strategies that's employed through this P2G opportunity.
Yes. And you can actually be trained on Check and Connect even if you're not participating in P2G.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know, because it sounds like, with the mentoring and the family connection piece and ensuring we have the attendance, the positive behavior and the positive course performance, that is something we want for all of our students, whether the LEA is involved in this opportunity or not.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then another evidence-based intervention is the strategic instructional model, which is known as SIM.
Yes.
And it's a comprehensive approach to learning. They have content enhancement routines, which are things that teachers can use to engage the students, and then learning strategies, which are strategies that teachers teach the students to use so that the students can use them independently across a variety of subject areas. So that's another one. And then we also have transition discoveries, which is it's basically a survey package where teams collect data to make data-informed decisions. They collect the data from the youth, from the families, and from other transition stakeholders to improve transition outcomes for students. That was developed it was funded by the Pennsylvania Developmental Disabilities Council in partnership with George Washington University, Temple University, and the Pennsylvania Youth Leadership Network.
All great organizations that really work towards ensuring our young adults have a good sense of where their path is, but their voice is included in that. So those organizations really help to build that through the transition discoveries, and I'm glad to hear about that. And that SIM model, I really appreciate, and again want to highlight that we're teaching students a strategy, but the ultimate goal is for them to do it independently, so that when those adults are not around, when they're in a different context, they can still call upon that knowledge and that strategy and technique to help them succeed. I think that's a crucial piece.
Yeah, it's teaching that independence piece.
Yeah, I think that's vital. And I'm thinking about this. If we're an LEA out there listening, how do I find out more information? This sounds like an opportunity that we all want to jump on. We understand that it's kind of rolling out in phases through different parts of the state, through different IUs, different counties. But how do I get information on this, and how do I find out if this is an opportunity I can jump on?
Right. So each of the PaTTAN offices has a contact for P2G. So you would just reach out to the regional PaTTAN office, and they will get you in touch with someone, and you can find out how to participate and see what phase we're in, if your LEA is, or if your IU is participating at that time, and what phase we're in, and we can get you set up.
Excellent. So it's as simple as and easy as going to the PaTTAN website, www.pattan.net, and reaching out to the regional PaTTAN office to find out if this is an opportunity you can get involved with.
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing how many LEAs jump on this, because I think it's going to be wonderful.
It is being rolled out in very systematically that we will, by the time the grant is over, there'll be 87 middle schools who will be participating. So while you can gather more information from your PaTTAN office and from your IU, we are limited in the number of LEAs that we are able to take on each year of the grant. And then once that is finished, once the grant is finished, the IUs will then have the capacity to continue to build it within their regions through having SIM trainers, folks who are trained in transition discoveries, from Check and Connect trainers. So they'll be able to carry it on. It just will not be funded through the grant.
Sure, but we'll be able to extend it even more so to more LEAs that have the opportunity, which I think is vital.
And also use the early warning system and data meeting protocols that we've established.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, which we know is crucial to catching those kiddos before they fall.
Right.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I so thank you guys for being on here. This is something we ask all of our PaTTAnpod guests. We really want to inspire people to grow in their profession, to grow educationally. What kind of advice might you offer to those who are listening today? I know it's a big question.
It is a big question.
question.
I think one of the crucial components that I've learned through this is really through P2G, for being an implementer there, is really being able to look at that early warning system data, and whether you're using that for students who are identified as having emotional behavior disorders, or for students who are receiving special education, or you're going to use it for your entire student population, it really puts a light on who are the students who are at risk for dropping out. And if we can identify those students at an earlier age, such as 6th grade, 7th grade, or 8th grade, we can put those interventions in place before they hit high school, where the chances of them dropping out become so much more significantly greater.
So it's about catching them early.
Yeah,
and the impact, the positive trajectory we could put students on if we catch them early enough to know.
Right.
I think that's vital.
And I think I'll veggie back on that. I'll take a piece of Check and Connect, a part called Persistence Plus, and that's really when you are supporting students, even when they really don't seem like they want that support, even when they kind of seem like they want you to leave them alone. If we are to make an impact on students and increase graduation rates and decrease the rate of students dropping out, then we have to provide that consistent support for them and not give up on them, not just, okay, walk away from them when they don't seem like they are taking in, because sometimes it takes up to 2 years to develop a relationship and establish that rapport. And so the research shows that if a student has one caring individual that's supporting them, the likelihood of them graduating is so much greater. And so I just think about it from that perspective, being persistent with students. Sometimes they seem like, especially teenagers, get away from me, stop calling me, stop bothering me, but be persistent with students so that we can impact their bottom line and making them successful post-secondary.
I think that's wonderful, to be persistent, even when they do give off the appearance that perhaps I'm not so interested in this support right now.
Yes.
That's excellent. You made a good point there. You had said that it could take 2 years to build a relationship.
Right.
That must be why Check and Connect, you have this 2-year commitment from your mentorship.
Exactly.
We're using all this information, all this knowledge to really guide our practices with our students.
Yes.
I think that's great. Thank you so much, Amira and Dennis, for being on PaTTANpod and for sharing this P2G opportunities. I hope LEAs that are moving through this rollout system, that are able to access this opportunity, do jump on it, and I'm so excited to see what happens in the future. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Dawn.
Thank you to all of you in the field. You inspire educational growth in your students every day. A special thank you to John Ragsdale for producing this podcast. We'll see you next time on PaTTANpod.